Well, hey everybody.
Hello.
Yes. So delighted to be back here with you. We're still in Christmas.
We are still
We
in
just had that
Christmas.
discussion that
Yeah.
this is still the Christmas season, and there are if you aren't familiar with the song, there are
Yeah.
12 days of Christmas.
There's a lot of Christmas, which it starts at Christmas.
It starts Christmas Day.
Gotcha. All right.
Yes, and then there are 12 days of Lords a leaping and
A lot of birds.
maids a milking
Yeah.
and plenty of birds.
Plenty of birds to go around.
I have no idea which day of the 12 we are on, but we've been through a week and
It has been
a
a
handful of days,
week. Yeah, which isn't too bad.
which isn't too bad.
Yeah,
So,
we could still use the intro for sure.
yes, maybe maids a milking day.
Might be made.
Who knows?
Might be about that time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, I think otherwise. Did you have any fun Christmas traditions or when you were growing up?
Yeah, my family always used to throw like the family Christmas Eve party. So
Okay, and that was usually at your house then?
Yeah, so I have a sister, but I have a ton of cousins. So we just used to have all my aunts and uncles, and just all my cousins over and everything. Family friends, and it was always a good time. And now it's gotten it's progressively smaller, and I kind of have to show up later in the day. But other than that, yeah, it's always a good
Fair
time.
enough. And I forgot, I should introduce you. You are Cole Becker.
I'm Cole Becker.
Yes, usually behind the camera.
Yes, usually
And
upstairs in the booth.
yeah, now and you were primarily the one working on the lighting and stuff too.
I did
and
do
so
the lighting. Yes.
quite a bit of the lighting and
the smog machine.
Yes,
Yeah.
and data entry on all the
And data entry.
many Christmas services.
There were a lot of services. You kind of forget about it until you start to get into you get in the flow of it, and it's like you
It
really
gets really
gotta sit
confusing
down
too,
for it.
because I send something off to you guys for maybe it's Christmas Eve morning, which there was a service
Yep.
for
1 at
Sunday
10,
morning.
both at 10
but like
a.m.
you kind of got to clarify, like, what am I sending to you? And I think I sent you like 10 different videos.
Yeah, but yeah, it
Yes,
worked out.
and I was noticing on the intro, I keep forgetting to ask you guys too, because there's like a video, and like when we do the entry and when we do the exits, there's like a manger scene that's a video, and I spent way too much time when I should have been doing other Christmas
Yeah,
stuff,
uh-huh.
looking for just a manger scene video without like people in it.
Yeah, right.
Like,
It's hard to find.
I didn't
stuff
want
like that.
people in it for
Yeah.
what I wanted, and like spent way too much time looking for that.
Yeah, just
and then
focused
I
out
once in
on
a while
it.
see it on there, and I'm like, well, you guys have found it,
Yeah,
and
nailed
I keep forgetting to ask you. But now
Yeah.
we're done with Christmas.
Now we're done. Maybe for
Yes.
next year.
Maybe for next year
Yeah.
we can
Trying to
look
find
for that.
stock footage like that sometimes is it's
Yeah,
hard.
it is
you get
hard.
way too specific.
It is
it's
hard
a
to
problem.
do.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, otherwise, I think for me, I think my Christmas has always been a little more. We haven't had one tradition. I mean, certainly since I became a pastor, it's just kind of been church and then wherever my family lands.
Yeah.
Whether it's a church member here or sometimes getting to family who's around, we'll do that. But even growing up, we'd always do something big, but we bounced around between seeing family in Texas. We do family in Texas a fair amount, but that's a journey going down there.
Yeah.
And then we would do, different places. Traveling around from Minnesota, go somewhere else, and find
Yeah.
different Christmas traditions.
That's always fun.
There.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure the winter in Minnesota is a heck of a lot different than it is here.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's nuts.
But yeah, it's Christmas is always there's an exciting time.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
And
It's definitely changed for me. I mean, just starting to work at a church and then getting into the whole flow of that. But
yes.
yeah, this year it definitely felt, I don't know, it felt good. I felt the services went really well. It's like I wasn't super slammed and busy outside of church, so I had enough time to spend with friends and family. And
Yeah, because that's
it
the other
was
thing.
just
Sometimes you
sometimes
you
it gets
have
crazy.
plenty of other non-church.
Yeah, it can
Technology
get,
needs to be
yeah, it can get kind of
technologized.
nuts in December.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it was a really good year, a really fun way to end the year. So
Which is nice. I always appreciate that when we can have time not just to work the services, but to feel a part of it.
yeah,
and,
take a
and
step
feel,
back.
Feel connected in some way to appreciate this.
Yeah,
it's a
what's
really
actually
cool
happening.
season.
It is cool.
And to be able to feel that energy as
Mm-hmm.
well. I think you have to if you want to really be able to share it. You have to
Yeah,
feel it,
internalize
too.
it a little bit.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
So,
Heck yeah.
so we kind of finished off the major Christmas service. It's still in Christmas season, but finished off the major Christmas services. Last week we had I thought it was a beautiful service. It was good to see Dr. Mark.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's really
For
cool
those
to
who were
see
able
him.
to attend the 9:30 service, if you haven't, he was there. So it was really good to see him, and he was certainly the pastor that I started with,
Yeah,
and
that's who I
you as
started
well.
with for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to see. It's funny just like when he just gets on stage and like adjusts his voice when he starts talking and everything. It's like, oh right, pay attention to what to what Mark's saying. It's really cool. Yeah, it's cool to see just have him back in the building. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was really wonderful to see, and so and just a powerful service in general with that, and then Bruce Ewing, who has also been, I feel like he's just a big a part of CLC as the
Yeah.
pastors. I mean, he's just been just a wonderful presence and
Definitely.
just an incredible human being. Really.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's crazy. I mean, just even like we have our Tuesday meeting today, and the fact that he wasn't at the
I
Tuesday
know that he
meeting,
wasn't
I'm
at the
like, this
Tuesday
is
meeting.
weird.
He's
Yeah.
always there, just tapping away on his
Yeah,
keyboard
doing
and
something.
you
Has
know,
everything
just,
planned out a month in advance.
and he's a big planner, and I know he
Yeah.
said that was pretty wild when he was preparing for Christmas. But usually he's preparing for Christmas, and then he's looking forward and choosing what he wants to do for Easter.
Right.
And he's got like 8 different things he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all I'm doing is Christmas right now.
Yeah, and then you
And,
just actually focus on it. I know.
Yeah.
It is funny, like even in like our meetings at church, it's like you really have, I mean, like 2 weeks after Christmas and we're already starting to talk about Easter and it's like, man. And then you start
is.
talking about Easter and then you go on and it's like, oh, it might as well be Christmas again.
It might as
Once
well
you
be
get through the
Christmas.
summer, yeah,
It is,
like,
it is
man.
well on its way.
Yeah.
And
Blows through it.
so it really does require that, like that kind of looking
Mhm.
ahead as we're in the thick of Christmas to
Definitely.
already be looking at
Yeah, Easter.
Holy Week
Yeah,
and
which is nuts.
all that comes with that. But also I appreciated time just to, you know, see Bruce do what Bruce does.
Yeah.
And
it's
that was
nice
really
to step
wonderful. I'm
back.
excited about the next steps, and I know I shouldn't say goodbye to Bruce because he'll be
He'll be
right
around.
back, but it'll just be entering a phase of some changes there. But
Yeah, totally.
but Bruce has just been just a wonderful colleague, and
Yeah. Powerhouse
there's
for the
been-
church for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
such an important piece, and I'm so thankful that that I was able to work with Bruce.
Right,
and
yeah.
love that.
It's really cool because I mean, cause I started working here when I was 18, and it was like kind of stepping into just all of these like really high class professional people and like in this industry that I wasn't necessarily like trying to have a career in. It was just like a job at the time, and I think it definitely helped me a lot further down, even with Phil and Keith and everything, just down my career like business wise and. Just like professionalism and how to act and people, how to trust people and everything like that. It's like well, he was definitely a very integral part of like definitely growing up here and realizing what I actually need to do and how I should behave. So it's cool.
Well, yeah,
Cool to
there's
see.
something too. But Bruce, but Philip, Keith, all of them, what they offer, and just the generosity, the spirit
Yeah,
that they offer,
it's
because
very
they don't
cool.
have to, take time for
Yeah,
the
and they put
little
a lot
things,
into
but
all
they-
this.
They
Yeah.
all put a lot in, and,
Yeah.
and certainly thankful for all the time, the energy that Bruce has put in
Definitely.
to everything there.
Very
So.
cool.
And with that, we had a song this past week, and so many of them stood out. And there was, having the congregational sing. That's one of the great things that Bruce does is bringing the
Yeah,
congregation
you can
and
really
singing.
bring them together.
But there was a special choral piece that we had, and it's such a powerful song, and they all did such a wonderful job with it, and
Definitely.
seeing it. Bruce didn't have one of the solos on it, but it's very much see it as part of this service that Bruce has been a
Totally.
part of, and I love the message of the song itself, and I yeah, I wanted to take some time to look back at that and share that song
Definitely.
as well. So if we want to go to the song, Who Will Heal the World?
Well, here we are, now at last together. Here we are, soldiers, seekers, healers are we. What brings us to this mountain top? What questions lie upon your tongue?
Tell me all about it.
What questions lie upon your Who will heal the world? Who will save the children? Who will cleanse the waters of the earth? Who will heal the world?
Serve the nations. Who will bring the barren land to birth? Who will rescue the fallen man? Mend the broken-hearted, build the family.
Give back the dignity that's now been taken away. Who will heal the world? Who will bridge the waters? Who will break the barriers back? Now you know the answer lies with God. But the task begins to me.
Send me to the mountaintop. Send me to the valley below. Send me out into the wilderness. Here I am. Send me. Here I am. Send me. Here I am. Who will heal the world? Who will end the famine?
Who is there to multiply the love?
Yeah, I hope when people hear that, I mean, I don't know what your experience is. I hope when you hear that, though, that you get caught up in the music almost, where you
Yeah.
just, you feel something when they're saying, here I am, send me. I hope that there's something to that you have, or you've had a place in your life where you feel that calling. And
Yeah, it's cool.
I think there's times in our life when we either too easily dismiss it, or say that no, nothing I can do here.
Right, and there's
There are
someone
plenty
else
of
will handle it.
times, yes,
Yeah.
where we have to, or we feel that way.
Yeah.
But to get caught up, like that song has I think it certainly has the potential to do for people. I love what it does. It just have that experience that we're all being called, and we can go wherever we are sent. So
Yeah, it's definitely a cool feeling. It's cool. It's cool to see when that actually happens to people. It's like when sometimes people struggle to find out what they want to do, or who they want to be in life, and it's just sometimes it really is just like a light bulb for some people, and then it just sets them off on the rest of their life. It's cool. It's cool to be around it, especially at the church, and
yeah.
there's,
Yeah, I
there's
think
a lot
that's really what it's all about. Being able to find that space for everybody, and it's the song is based off of a passage from the book of Isaiah, and Isaiah, the whole book starts off with this prophet, and right off the bat it has a lot of this language we use from the Christmas message, that God's vision for the world is people taking swords and beating them into plowshares, and peace coming to all the world and all the land. And there's a beautiful language right there. But then starting really into chapter 2, chapter 3, we have Isaiah just gets frustrated that it's not happening.
Yeah.
And he's
Real
just
quick.
he's going off on all these people who you're the problem, and you're the problem, and you're the problem,
Yeah.
and his own people, and he's naming off all of these different other countries and his own people, his own cities. We're just like, you're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're
It's
not
not
doing
working
it.
out.
It's not working out. And so I love some of this stuff. All the bangles you're wearing and your well-dressed hair, it will turn to baldness, clothing to sackcloth, beauty, and I'm gonna turn your beauty into branding.
Man.
Just like he's really upset by it. And just
Yeah.
people are gonna mourn and lament. Like he's really upset. And then it gets to this chapter 6, and so Isaiah has just kind of listed off all these different things that he's upset by. And then it says he has this really wild vision.
Yeah.
Where he's in the temple. He's in this place where you're supposed to encounter God, and then he has in this vision he does encounter God, and there are these. It's unclear what they are. They could either be flying snakes or flying angel kind of things on fire.
Huh. Okay. That's fun.
It's snake and fire, the venom there. It's kind of the same word.
Yeah.
But they got 6 wings, and they're flying around, and they're saying this holy, 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 and he just sees the robe, the last little hem of the robe of God, and he realizes that all these people he's been angry at, like he realizes, oh my gosh, what about me? Like, I'm a wreck. Like, I thought I was, I was ready to criticize everybody else. And it's this little message right there where he realizes it goes from, this is just right at the beginning, but it's, sometimes we're so critical, and then it's realizing in a moment, yeah, part of that is,
Right. I
is
might
me
be the
too.
problem.
I might be the problem. It's me,
Yeah.
And finding this space, right, where he's right in the middle of it. And so Isaiah cries, woe to me, I am ruined. I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and I have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. And then the vision is kind of weird. But anytime you have, venomous fire creatures flying around.
They don't have visions like they used to.
They don't have visions like they used to. But one of these critters flies right to him with a live coal in its hand, which it had taken from the altar, and touches his mouth. It says, "I have touched your lips, taken away your sin. I have atoned for it." And then you have this line that God has this. There's this voice coming from heaven. Whom shall I send to the people?
Gotcha.
And he says, "Here I am, send me." And so even though he's a person of, as he puts it, unclean lips, or he realizes how imperfect he's been, when he hears that calling, like perhaps you feel when you listen to that song, I mean, no, that's certainly the intention. I love getting caught up in music like that.
Totally.
But when you hear these questions, whom shall I send? And we can feel that today. We can ask, why isn't God working in any one of these places where we see warfare, any one of the places where we see disease, any places here where there is so much just loss and devastation, human beings just completely broken. And here the prophet says, "Here I am, send me."
Yeah.
And like you said, like I love seeing that in the church setting in particular, where people can find that.
Yeah, and just roll with it.
To see people step up, and we were mentioning Angel Tree this past weekend, and all the people whose lives have been touched by that.
That's fantastic.
And it's something where parents would have been completely unable to share something with their kids, but for them to be surprised on Christmas, here's a present, here's a gift.
It's very cool.
Any little way people can step up. I think that all of that makes such a difference, and it brings something really wonderful to our world. And so I know I'm thankful for all of that and living in that. So
Definitely.
it's a powerful verse.
That is.
And then it does take a turn after the prophet says, "Here I am, send me." The next lines are that the people's ears are going to be stopped up, and you will go to the people, and the calling will be like they're not going to get it.
Yeah, right. It's not going
And-
to translate too well. But-
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's not going to translate too well.
Yeah.
And I know there are. That's part of the calling too. Is feeling like you're supposed to go out. And I can think of people in my life who, I mean, these are people from who I grew up with, and I mean the one that stand out, close friends who I grew up with who, face addiction and going out and really trying to help them, really trying to offer something, and it turns out they were just using me, or it wasn't, you try to bring something good into the world, and
Yeah, that's the exact opposite.
it feels like that, right? Like it feels like it's the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. And so many of those situations, some of those friends who I'm thinking of, trying to help somebody who's addicted, and it feels like instead of bringing what I thought was good into the world, what I brought into the world was just a mess.
Yeah.
There are, when you get to the story in the Bible, there are so many moments where Jesus tries to bring good in the world too, but it looks like what he brings in is just more chaos. I mean, he's just he's fomenting more anger. Like these people just get so angry.
Yeah.
Even though he's trying to bring, I mean, he actually brings a lot of good. I mean, working incredible miracles, but then the reaction he gets from people is horrendous.
It's crazy.
So when you talk about bring healing to the world, in the New Testament, the word for healing is therapia. So you might recognize the word therapy there. But it's Jesus trying to bring healing to the world. But it says in Luke 13, And on the Sabbath day, Jesus was teaching in one of the synagogues, and a woman there who had been crippled for 18 years, she was bent over, could not straighten up at all. When Jesus saw her, he called her forward and said, "Woman, you are set free from your infirmity." He put his hands on her. Immediately she straightened up and praised God, which is just great. Like 18 years, and Jesus is bringing, an incredible amount of good into her life. But then it says, indignant because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath, the synagogue leaders said to the people, "There are 6 days for work, so come and be healed on those days and not on the Sabbath."
Oh, man.
And it literally says, they're going out and they're going and they're saying to the people, like, their reaction is a very public one.
Yeah, this is wrong.
It's blasting out,
Yeah.
all these mixed messages and all the problems with it. And when somebody blasts us or we get this reaction from people,
Yeah.
it gets
Yeah, it can get kind of
chaotic.
crazy.
pretty
Yeah.
fast.
It's definitely like, you look at, I feel like, Jesus' teachings and how most of what, he was talking about was such like a godly, broad perspective. And you look at the ruling leaders of the time, and it's like, same thing with all of us. You get so focused on little problems or literally what's in front of you that you're like, well, this guy's screwing all this up, even if it's unnecessarily, even if it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's messing with my schedule and my whatever and my money and this and that, and it just throws a wrench into, even if something is generally good, it could still throw a wrench into whoever's problems just because they can't really see past their own nose sometimes. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I totally believe that. And it does. It messes with our own minds. It messes with it when somebody, and there's so much of watching the news or anywhere, like just the public attacks. Like you just
yeah.
get,
It's crazy.
instead of looking at the good of what somebody's doing, we just look at all the
Yeah,
negatives.
pick the negative. Yeah.
And I can't say that that's ever going to be easy, because that's still going to happen. It happened in Jesus' time, and it's written into almost every one of these miracles that Jesus has, and leaves the question: what are you going to see?
Yeah.
Are you going to see the good, or are you going to see the
Pick the
a
bad
reason
out.
to be angry about
Yeah.
healing a crippled woman, or
Right.
whatever it is? And I think that's the perspective for all of us. What perspective
Yeah.
are we going to live with, and what are we going to look at there? So it's never easy, but I think just focusing on that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Trying to take the good out for sure. Yeah. Be the
Take the
solution.
good. Take the good. So with that, unless there's anything else you need to add,
I don't think so.
okay?
I
Anything
think
else
I'm
from
good.
behind the camera that,
Yeah.
that we are forgetting that you really want to make mention of?
I think we're all ready till Thursday.
All right. we will come back for Bible study tomorrow. I might be
Tomorrow.
gone roller skating.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Nice. That's fun.
But it'll be a blast. Linda's Meatloaf there.
Oh,
And then
miss Linda.
we'll be right back here for Thursday. I think Pastor Ben will be back for that one too. So he's just, hopefully just enjoying the time right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But with that, I think to close us out, Phil is not here. But before Bruce left, he wanted to close out, I believe, with one more song. At least it might not be I'm sure you'll be hearing more of Bruce. But this
Yeah.
is the last song we have in our computer right now that we can queue up for you, and I think it's a great one to play for you.
It's a
And,
great one to go out with.
It's a great one to go out with, and yes, leave you with a good perspective
Yeah,
on it
exactly.
all. All right, take care, everybody.
Take care.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the park. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. And it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. And it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.